All right, good afternoon. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve, as some people call it. Welcome to our fun webinar today. Thanks all for joining. I know you guys are all trickling in, but feel free to note in the chat where you guys are joining in from. If you're in a room or you've got a whole bunch of people and you're huddled around one screen, say how many people you've got around your screen, where you're from, where in the country you're from, where in the world you're from. What module you use? What eSpace module do you guys use? Kansas City, awesome. I was just down in Omaha this week, so I was close. Oh, lots of
Oh,
folks.
wow. People are streaming in from all over the country.
Texas, lots of Texas, Florida. Tyler's from Florida. Some friends from down in Florida. Lots of folks chiming in.
Yeah.
Love my Florida people.
All
Wow,
right,
look at
who's,
this.
who's in a room huddled around a screen with a bunch of your friends?
Yeah. I see Sarah in Houston. There's a couple of them watching.
Awesome.
Oh,
David is from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. David, I'm down in T, so I'm right next to you. Nice to have a fellow South Dakotan on the webinar this afternoon.
I
Hey,
saw Andrew pop in from Normal, Illinois. Not everybody's going to know where that is. I do because I'm from Illinois.
right by
Uh,
Bloomington. I know
right by Bloomington, Bloomington Normal. The names go hand in hand. I know right where that is.
2 geography points.
There you go.
Well, welcome all. We'll get started here in a minute or so as I think folks have trickled in. We've got a really well-attended webinar today. We've got some exciting stuff that we get to share with some big projects that we've been working on here at eSpace. This is a sneak peek, or Kim has called it a first look.
For
Kim,
all
what do
the
you call it? What
event,
do we call a
yeah.
first look?
For all those event folks that are joining us, I figured they could appreciate that phrase, first look. Probably been a wedding or two, maybe at their facility. They've heard it. They've had to figure it out, make it look pretty around fire doors. I've been in that boat. I've had to do that.
Yep. Well, good stuff. Well, I think we will go ahead and get started. Just from a housekeeping standpoint, we've got our chat there. I don't think we've got our Q&A turned on for this webinar, so if you've got some questions, we've got Tyler here. Tyler is our marketing manager, waving his hand. Welcome,
Hi,
Tyler.
everybody.
From a housekeeping standpoint, throw some questions in the chat. We do have a Q&A part of our webinar today, so we'll work to address those in the chat, but hopefully you're answering a lot of the questions you have along the way. But by way of just quick introduction, my name is Ben. I have the privilege of being the product manager here at eSpace. It's a great gig. I love my job. I love getting to do things like this where I get to show off some really cool things that we've been working on, and really things that I think are going to really impact you guys as users of eSpace. So that's me. Joining me, I've got Kim. Kim, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Kim. It's been a minute since I've been on one of these webinars. I'm happy to be here today. I manage the customer stewardship team. So some of you may have talked to me in a ticket. Some of you may have been trained by me. So I'm happy to be here talking about this exciting stuff.
Yeah. And Tyler, you want to introduce yourself? You're going to be kind of behind the curtain helping us with Q&A, but go ahead and introduce yourself, Tyler.
Hey, facility stewards. My name is Tyler Thompson, marketing manager here at Smart Church and eSpace, and I will be helping with the chat today.
Thank you, Tyler. Well, let's go ahead and dig in. So I'm excited to announce that we are working on a comprehensive overhaul of the eSpace user interface. We're going to be releasing functional area by functional area, starting with event scheduler, starting this fall. We're doing a major user interface update, and we're announcing that change is starting this fall. Really exciting times ahead. We are not releasing anything Today is, as we've noticed, it's the first look. It's the sneak peek. So in our webinar today, I'll go through a few first looks of some of our first pages, our first features that we'll be updating. We'll kind of explain the roadmap, the plan over the next couple of years of how these changes are going to roll out. And we'll also explain our rollout plan. When we get to a specific feature or area, how are we going to release that to you guys, making sure that you guys are equipped, you're not caught off guard, and you are well trained. But again, with eSpace, it's very robust event and facility management software. That is staying the same. That is not going away. We are not taking away any of the robustness of eSpace, but we felt like there is a big opportunity to modernize eSpace, to really clarify that user experience, that really clarify how to use eSpace, and really there's some opportunities we have to simplify how to do things, while again at the same time maintaining the robust capabilities that we have with eSpace. So Kim, give us a little bit more background on why we would do this. Why would we embark on such a large project? Why would we do this to eSpace?
I know. I will tell you, just before this call started, I read the title of this slide, and it was intended to be "Why Change?" But I realized some of you are probably hearing it as "Why change?" Please don't feel that way. This is exciting stuff. So to understand where we're going, you need to understand where we've come from. Many of you know this. eSpace was first developed way back in the 2009 year, way back then. And since that point in time, we have added many features. So in 16 years, we've done a lot of adding. Yeah, there might have been a little bit of taking away, but there was mostly adding, because as we grew, you were growing. Our organizations were growing. So we needed to keep up with the needs of what our organizations needed. That's what we've been doing. So where we are today is we've taken a pause and we've been listening. So early in 2024, last year, we started the process of designing this change. And how we did that was through working with the feature requests that many of you have put out there. Ben has had conversations with folks. Our support team hears what you say. We want to make sure that we're keeping all of that in mind. So we've been listening. We know that eSpace is complex, it's robust, but we also hear it can be intimidating. It can feel overwhelming to some users. So we want to rectify that. We also know new features are great, but you'd like us to maybe streamline, clarify, or enhance some of the existing features. So we're all excited when we get something new under the Christmas tree, but sometimes we just want to fix something else, or we want to make what we have a little bit better. So we're going to do some of that through this process. And we want to be sure that our software is more accessible and less intimidating to a wider range of users with varying skills. So many of you may not know, in my background, I actually worked at a church and I onboarded eSpace in that role. So as an administrator of the software, I know some of the obstacles that you have with adoption, buy-in, getting people to use it. And when you layer on folks that maybe don't have the skills to understand some of the computer stuff, it makes it a little more challenging. So hopefully we're really planning for these updates to make a big difference in some of those adoption obstacles that you're dealing with.
That's well said, Kim. Yes, we've been listening. This has been a very fun process to listen to you guys, to hear where some of the challenges with eSpace and where you'd like us to go. So now I'm going to move into a live preview. I've got a few areas that I will be looking at. We're going to be looking at our left navigation. You can see a preview there on your screen. Looking at event list, how to add and edit an event, the internal calendar. I've got a fun poll that we get to do when we get to the internal calendar. And then I'll give a quick preview of some changes coming to facility space. So you'll note that Kim said that we started on this last year, and we started with the internal calendar. We started with the how to add and edit an event. These are two of the most used features in eSpace, and they're two of the most complex features in eSpace. And really, our thought behind that is if we can really nail those down right, that will affect the rest of what we change and how we modify the rest of eSpace with the UX update. So without further ado, I'm going to navigate a few tabs here to give you guys a quick few demos. Oops. So some changes coming to left navigation menu. As you can see here, this is an updated left navigation menu. The header is gone where you switch modules and you get to your profile. This is a left navigation with our existing dashboard. We've got plans to update the dashboard. It's on our roadmap and plan that I'll show you in a minute, but this is just a quick preview of our left navigation bar. So you can see here a lot of the same things. We've got the ability to add a new event. I'll go into more details of the event here in a second, but just like that, a nice slide out to add a new event, just like a button used to be in the top right to create a new event. The search functionality is here. It'll pop up in the middle of your screen like that. And then our buttons down here to edit your profile, log out, billing will be down here as well. And just want to take a moment to show something I'm really excited about. It's a very small change, but see how the left navigation bar doesn't move when I scroll. Can I get an amen in the chat?
Yes.
Amen.
Excited about that one.
Small thing, but big deal. Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you all. Love to see that. All right. Again, trying to really clarify this experience, make things streamlined, work a little easier. Next, excited to look at the events list. So now while an events list is not that exciting in and of itself, what we're working on here is really making it, we're working on how these data tables will function across eSpace. As you guys know, eSpace has a lot of different data tables with information between the dashboard, events list, work order list, etc. We've got grids of data everywhere. And so we're starting with the all events list to really figure out what is that going to look like? How do we streamline that? And some of the big things that you guys have asked for is really good search and filtering capabilities. But also, you'll notice here, I've got a number more columns that we'll get to add to this particular table. Imagine every column or every data field that you can get in a custom report, you can now add to the events list, and you'll be able to reorder them, and that order will save for you. Again, smaller things, but those have been definitely things that you have asked for. Insert stoic nod. Thanks, David. I appreciate that. Again, data tables. Well, it doesn't sound that exciting. Again, I know that this is a way that you guys access information, and being able to get to exactly what you're looking for really quickly is a big deal. And here's just a view of an expanded grid here where we're showing the schedule, occurrence, the items as well. Exciting things coming to our lists. Okay. Next, this is a big one. So now I'm showing you a specific event. Sorry, let me maximize this for us just a moment. So here, I am looking at a specific event. Kim, am I going too fast? Anything I skipped over there on the events list?
No, I don't think so. I think we're pretty good.
Excellent. Okay, so there's a lot to consume here for the new event page. Okay, so on the top here, we've got header information of the event, the name, the date, ID, who owns it, if it's public or internal, if it's marked on site, if it's in person, what spaces, resources, and services, just a quick way to view those. You'll be able to see where this event is at in the approval flow, and this will be dynamic based on the settings of your particular organization, if you're using final approvals, pre-approvals, etc. Here we can see this tab experience that really is intended to make the schedule component of Event Scheduler much more straightforward and much easier to use. We found that schedules is a very robust feature, but also a very complex feature within Event Scheduler. And so schedules in this way makes them a lot easier to use and a lot clearer on when you're adding a new schedule, which schedule you're on, etc. Here you'll be able to see the details of an event in this first tab down here. Next is items. Now, you might be wondering, where's the setup tab? We have combined items and setup into one page, one tab. So you don't have to add an item and then add the setup notes or the configuration. From here, we have a new experience on how to add a space. So I'll just show you that really quick. A nice slide out here. Kim, tell me about your favorite new feature on this page.
Oh, the fact that I can filter by tags. You know, I love tags. It's one of my favorite features, often not used enough, folks. But I can find the big room, the room with the TV, you know, the room that has live stream capabilities, whatever it is, I can filter by tags and I can search. Well, for those of you that have a ton of spaces, you could search instead of scroll. That'll be great. It'll be a big time saver.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Kim. So we're going to go ahead and add that space. And just like that, that was added here. We can edit it. We can select a configuration. Just like that, add configuration notes there if you'd like. Save it. Quickly view that configuration image just like that. Items and setup combined into one tab, one items tab, still maintaining lots of functionality, being able to see it all in one page, spaces, resources, and services. Really think that brings that experience together.
Yeah, and you'll notice on that items tab, I don't think this is functional in what Ben is showing you, but the plan is if there's a form associated with one of those items, you're going to be able to click on that little icon you see, open up the form, and fill it out right then and there.
Yes. Good point, Kim. Getting into occurrences, we see a lot of the same view that we do today in our occurrences tab, just refreshed, modernized. We've got some reordering that we've done here on the different columns to show what's going on with these particular items in this occurrence. From there, move on to settings. So event attachments and reminders, they used to be kind of buried underneath event details way down at the bottom. You had to expand something to get at them. Now they're a little easier to get at right here. Facility space settings as well for those that are using our facility space integrations settings for a specific event. You can get at those right here. Additionally, we've made a fair amount of enhancements to the work order component of an event. Now today you can create a work order for an event. With that related to the setup notes, the configuration can be attached to a work order, as well as form responses can generate over with a work order. We've really worked to enhance the work order capabilities here with this add work order button. We've added a number of enhancements here to really add some of the things you guys were looking for related to when does this work order need to happen? You know, today the work orders have been made primarily for setup, but what about teardown? What about going back to that room, you know, an hour after the event to run garbages, to clean up after the room, to recover the room, sometimes is what you guys call it. So adding a lot of capabilities there with work orders, adding the ability to customize tasks for a particular work order. So here's just a few example tasks. If today it exists to create tasks from setup, so those will automatically create here, but in case it's a task that's not applicable or not relevant, you can delete that, remove that. You can add a task just like that. You can note which occurrences does this work order apply to. You can note all of them or some specific occurrences. And then a big addition here is we've got the ability to add multiple work order rules for an event. So right now you can kind of create one. I've got a setup work order. I've got for one particular event, I need the custodial team to bring the bounce house to my event. I love the bounce house example for work orders. But now you can add multiple work orders for an event. So you can add the setup work order. You can add the teardown work order. You can add the bring the bounce house for this one occurrence work order. Add that all right here. We've got number of additional menu options underneath here with the stakeholders, which is a new tab, but that is going to be the event contacts, event owners. The event summary is here, conversations here, billing, event history, and the ability to export some files on this particular event. Kim, I went through that really quickly. I feel like I covered a lot, but where should we talk more about?
So I think if you just kind of break the screen up a little bit, that top portion, that's that little bit of a gray color, that is event wide information. It's kind of an easy way to think of it that way. That is the whole event. And then when you get down into those tabs, that's where you're looking at the schedules within the event. So if you kind of keep your mind separated on what those kind of encompass, it helps to explain them a little bit.
Thanks.
I do know back on the items tab, where I mentioned that about forms. That does not mean forms are going away. Required forms, no way am I letting that go away. We need those. So not that they're always going to be required. That's your choice when you build your setup, just like it is today.
Thanks, Kim. That's well said. I'm not supposed to be answering questions as we go. I did see someone asked if facility space or work orders, are those tabs going to show if I don't have those modules? No, they will not. They will only show if you have a facility space subscription or if you have our work order and asset management subscription. That was a good question.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do more questions at the end. I just saw that one off the corner of my eye. But thank you all. Next, excited to show off internal calendar. This was a fun one. Kim, did you have fun designing this with?
I had a great time designing this, and part of that is because every single person is very passionate about what they want to see on the calendar.
Yes, indeed.
And most of them are slightly different. So we had a lot of good, passionate discussion here.
Yes. Well, here is a new monthly view of our internal calendar. Really exciting changes that we've made here, but really a lot of the information is really the same. We streamlined this, we made this easier on the eyes, easier to look at, modernized it, got rid of some of the blank space, the white space. We're just going to take a minute to go to our current calendar. And I'm the product manager, so I can make fun of our product. I think that's allowed. But you'll notice here on our calendar, it looks much more white space than what you saw in the new design. We've got a few different ways to switch between our calendar types. And this is what I'm talking about with streamlining the experience. If you go here, you can switch between the calendar view that you're looking for. We've got the ability to switch that up here, some quick links to the item schedulers. Anyway, we felt there was a very big opportunity to streamline this user interface. And this is where we have landed with internal calendar. So we're looking at the monthly view. You want to switch to a different month. You have this drop down right here. It'll be a list of months that you can easily switch to, or you can advance forward or backward. Quickly jump to today's month. Switch the view right here. Got one way to do it. It's right here. You'll notice a little star. This way you can set your default preferred calendar right here from calendar. Today, you can do that. You may not know it, but it's under your user profile settings. You can decide what your default calendar is. Now you'll be able to do that right here from calendar. Got the ability to export CSV, PDF. Got the ability to show the different filters here. So today the filter button is above there up and to the left of the calendar. Filter button has been moved here. Brought all of the capabilities here to add your spaces, resource services, etc. that you want to filter on. Saved views. Right now that's in the top right. It's a new feature we've added recently. If you're not using saved views, you should use it. It's a great feature. I'm not biased or anything. If you go over to saved views here, you can get to the different views that you've created, shared, and saved. All right, so backing out of there, we can see a key. You can see the different categories that you have on your particular events. You can see a legend for the different icons, what they mean. You want to get to the different settings here. These are some different visibility settings that we have for calendar. Some of these settings are at the user level. Some of them have been at the organization level. But this lets you toggle them on how you're particularly viewing this calendar right now. And want to show this this button right here. This has been a feature you guys have been asking for. Kim,
Love this one.
talk about this button. Kim.
So we know how it goes. Many of our organizations, you need to, your week starts on not Sunday. It starts on Saturday, or it might start on Friday, just based off what your organization does on each of those days. This is going to allow you to set your week starting day to be whatever makes sense for you. I always wanted to see Saturday as my starting day because I wanted to see all the events for the weekend together on the calendar. This is going to allow you to do it.
Yes, a fun feature, something you guys have been asking for. We're excited to add that in. So like I've been alluding to, we're making a whole bunch of updates to the user interface, but along the way, excited to add just a number of these enhancements that you guys have been asking for. Okay, put in the chat your guys' favorite calendar that you use, and I'm going to cycle through a few of them here, but I know you guys have your preferences of which calendar is your favorite, so I'm going to cycle through those really quickly here. So we've got our daily view. You can easily scroll through a day view. Again, notice the date here changed in the top left. Easily quick move forward, move backward a particular day. The 2-week view, or sorry, weekly view. Here's a quick snapshot of that. Again, this changed to be the week view, the week date, so you can advance forward and backward. See, Shay likes the 2-week. We'll go the 2-week next. It's kind of a view of the monthly, very similar.
I'm loving my condensed folks. They're my people.
What has been the most? Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. Which one has folks said the most?
Honestly, I'm seeing a lot of monthly. I'm seeing a lot of condensed.
All right.
Yep.
I'm seeing a few item schedulers too.
All right. Well, here is the agenda view. Very nice. And then moving on to condensed. I know I saw a lot of condensed. That one's popular. And then we have the item scheduler view. Now, again, I mentioned some things that we can really clarify and streamline, and the item scheduler is no exception to really bringing that forward using the same filters that I can use on my monthly view, using that on the item scheduler. The same filter is used across all of these calendars. Okay, I'm going to move back to monthly. So some things you'll notice here related to colors. So we have approved events. This is showing at the full event level. What is the status of this event? We have approved. We have awaiting approval. We have an unsubmitted event. That is your draft events. And then we have events that are currently being edited. They have some unsubmitted changes. You'll notice some little color circles. That's noting the event category. Got the event name. And then a lot of this information we kept the same, noting the spaces, resources, and services involved. If there's some known approved with conflicts, those show red just like they do today. Noting if it's off-site or not. We have a lot of off-site events on our example here, but that tag will show right there. Okay. Kim, anything else to say on calendar before I do our live poll?
Well, I think we have to get to the live poll because as soon as folks hear about the live poll, they're going to get excited.
All right.
I'm confident of that.
All right. So one feature we are evaluating, and we are looking for more feedback on, is you guys have asked at times for the ability to color these boxes based on the category of your event and not necessarily the status of your event. And so the question I have for each of you, and Tyler is going to post a poll, so you don't have to put your answers in the chat. But if you could color the different tiles on your calendars by category instead of status, which is the current behavior, would you? Would you change to do that? Would you change to have your events colored by category, or would you leave it alone as status? So we're gonna look at the live poll there. Oh goodness. All right. You know, coloring by category was at full was really ahead. Now, you know, keeping as is catching up, but I think coloring by category is going to win. If you have multiple people that are crowded around a screen, you can go ahead and, you know, scan the QR code. I think that'll bring you to the link in the poll as well. I hope you guys are ready. That's going to make calendars very colorful. It's the calendar of many colors. The code of many colors will be the calendar of many colors.
But here's the best part. If you want to leave it as is, that's still going to be an option.
Yep.
So nobody loses in this poll. Everybody gets what they want. I love it.
Yep. Yeah, so many people chiming in there on chat. Yes, it would definitely be an option. Probably to start, it would be an organization setting that your admins would be able to set how everyone would view it. It would either be by category or by status. Okay, this is some strong feedback for sure. You guys have spoken. I definitely think this is something we are going to strongly consider. So thank you for that feedback and that input. Really appreciate that. So we walked through calendar. We walked through how to create an event. We walked through events list. I'm going to move on to facility space. So oops, I'm sorry. Let me back out of that. So some of you are using facility space, and while I'm going to show you a feature that is definitely not something you guys are using on a regular basis, I wanted to show how some of the work we're doing here to start with our new UI really is going to cascade to the rest of eSpace to really make it very similar. How you do things in one part of the application is how you're doing things in another part of the application. And so from here, I'm in my NTouch settings in facility space. And so for those that don't know what facility space does, we have integrations with different HVAC vendors, different door access vendors, and what eSpace lets you do in conjunction with facility space is let these doors unlock and lock based on your event schedule to let your HVAC cool a room down or an area down based on your schedule. We're finding customers that use facility space saving 30 or 40% on utilities, tons of hours and labor costs. It's a big win for those using facility space. But anyway, from a user interface standpoint, I'm just going to show you how to edit this particular device in facility space. A big component is mapping which device goes to which spaces, and so the eSpace knows which thermostat to cool down to a specific temperature. And so I'm editing a particular device. If I click Edit Spaces, what do you guys notice about this menu? It is exactly the same as we had over on the event creation flow on how to add a different space to a particular event. Michael,
Michael.
This is we're still working on this one. It's a work in progress. It's always a risk showing demo data and things that are a work in progress. But then just example there is to show how we created a way to add a space into an event, but we get to reuse that throughout the application. So calendar, for example, obviously work order and asset management has a calendar component. We'll be able to make the new calendar and work order and asset management look very much identical to how it functions and works in Event Scheduler. Okay, with that, I am going to circle back to our slide deck here. Oops, hold on here. I am a novice at Google Slides. Hold, please. Okay, so thank you. That was our live preview. Okay, what's our journey ahead look like? We've got a lot of eSpace. There are a lot of pages and a lot of features to be updated. What does that roadmap look like? And so I'm excited to share that here. So you can see on the left, we have kind of fall of this year, what's coming out, looking at next year and even into 2027 with what we'll be releasing. I have to do my standard product manager asterisks of, dates and projects are subject to change. The order is subject to change, timelines subject to change, but here's our best plan with what we know today. So this year, this fall, kind of everything that I just walked through and showed you, it's our intent to be releasing that this fall. From there, we will be moving into more of the event scheduler features like billing and invoicing or public event request forms, our forms, working into more of the shared features between event scheduler and work order and asset management. So we'll get into a dashboard, conversations, settings, profile, floor plan, obviously relatively new. We released that last year. You guys are using floor plan amazingly, but we've got a little bit of UX update, UI update that we can do to floor plan as well. Then we'll start on work order and asset management, on adding and editing a work order, taking what we've learned on adding and editing an event to bring that forward into work order and asset management. With facility space, I showed you the item scheduler on calendar. One of the things we want to add in facility space is a way to look at a schedule of your different devices, when things are going to lock, unlock, when different devices are set to cool or not cool. Want to bring that type of schedule view to facility space. In 2027, continuing our work in work order and asset management with a newer feature for project management. I'm not going to get into a ton of details there, but we know you guys have been asking for more project features with work order and asset management. So we hear you. That is definitely on the roadmap. Updating our work order list, preventative maintenance, equipment, and vehicles. And then moving on to some of additional shared features like reports, analytics, our lifecycle calculator, and operational cost tracker. So we've got our work cut out. We've got a lot ahead, but it's very exciting. So Kim, talk about, I think it's likely where you guys are wondering a bunch of questions about is how are we going to release this? Are we going to get training? So Kim, why don't you work through our plan of release?
Absolutely. So remember, we said we actually started planning this last year. But we knew when we started that we needed to have a very strong plan for how this rolls out and how this releases. These are critical pieces of how you guys do your everyday work. So at least 30 days, likely more. That's why there's a plus sign. That's where we will be doing quality assurance testing. Everything that we release, we're going to test it thoroughly. The best part of quality assurance testing is it's our job to break it before we give it to you. It's awesome. So we want to break it first. We don't want you to break it. That's what we're going to be working through. And we do have some clients, some customers who are going to be doing some what we call beta testing. So they will be testing in a separate environment what the new design looks like. So we will be getting some feedback from some folks that are in your shoes. As we move that forward, when we're in that 14 to 30 days out, that's when you'll start to see invitations to dedicated live training. 1 point lessons. We'll do, obviously, live training will be a lot more involved. It'll be longer. But we know that there will be some key points that you'll want to send to specific users. So we're going to do some videos of some 1 point lessons. We're going to create training videos. We are going to do in-app reminders that this is coming. So we want it to be very much front and center, that it's all your users know it's coming. Those webinars, while we sent this webinar invite to the admin folks, we know some of you are still on here and you're maybe not an admin. That's okay. We don't care. We are going to open up these webinars to everybody. They will be recorded. They will be made available to everyone because the training here is super important. On release day, so the day we go live with these, there will be in-app walkthroughs. You log in, you're going to get a walkthrough that's going to show you what is new. You're going to get updated day one knowledge base articles. We're going to have all of the new flows mapped out in brand new knowledge base articles. And there's going to be additional training webinars. We know that a one-time webinar is not going to be sufficient. And we know that we're going to have to repeat. I know you guys are going to have to repeat to folks because change is change, right? And so we've got to help everybody get through it. So we have what I believe is a very good plan of multiple avenues to get the information out, and not only in your hands, but in your users' hands.
That's well said, Kim. Thank you. And our intent would be to do this kind of 3-step process for each one of these bullet points that I released.
Yes.
Some features that we update might require more, post-release training, like the add event, how to create an event is maybe going to require some more training than when we release the event list, for example.
Yeah.
But our intent is to follow this process for each of these bullet points so that you guys are equipped. It's important for us to equip you guys to effectively steward your facilities is our mission. And if we don't equip you with proper training, we're not living out our mission. So that's important to us.
Yep.
With that, Tyler had his work cut out for him with Q&A. We threw a few questions we thought you might ask on this slide. When is this happening? Starting this fall. Will there be training? Yes, we just kind of covered the training. Webinars, videos, knowledge base articles. Can you get a recording of this webinar? Yes, this was recorded. I hope it was recorded. I think it recorded automatically. Yes, it did. And then can you opt out of these changes? With cloud-based software and our desire to move through these enhancements in a timely way, no, these enhancements will affect all users and customers all at once, all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting stuff ahead. I am curious, Tyler, what themes of questions you are getting from folks, and we'll do our best to answer over the next few minutes here.
Lots of questions. I've been copying and pasting them as they came through. Lizzie also was helping me from CST answer some questions. The ones that we haven't answered yet, going way back to the navigation bar. Will you be able to minimize the navigation bar? I think they're talking about that new left-hand navigation bar.
Oh, as far as condense it, yes, we'll keep that.
Yep.
All right, that was an easy one. Kim asked, will the configuration images be able to be expanded on a report if pulled up? Currently, we have to upload the image also on the front of the event request so that our facilities can expand the image to see it better.
So this is on the event. Is this on the event setup report? Am I understanding right, Kim?
I'm
I
thinking
believe so.
that's what Kim's referring to. Yes.
Um, I would believe so. Kind of like I showed you when I clicked on a configuration image, it pulled open from the right. I would imagine that working the same there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep. Kim said yes, that's what she was talking about. So
Okay.
perfect.
Thanks, Kim. Hi, Kim, by the
Uh,
way.
Yeah, not
next
me, Kim. Kim
question.
Segoria.
Yep.
Trace asked, will the event scheduler calendar integration change alongside with the internal calendar?
Event scheduler. We're not changing. I'm trying to follow the question. Maybe Kim, you take a stab at it if you're following.
Maybe are we asking about the public calendar? Is the public calendar changing with the internal calendar?
Integrates calendar on WordPress. Um,
Mm,
that we will add, it would be under like the settings area.
mhm.
We would be updating that as well. But your current embed codes, your links, when we release the updated internal calendar, that will all function just the same. But yes, the internal calendar that is on, excuse me, the public calendar is definitely on the list.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Kathy asked, will all of the events entered before the transition to the revised eSpace be transferred over? Should we wait before entering things on the 2026 calendar to utilize the new features? I can actually answer this one. One of our developers messaged me when you asked this, Kathy. Um, the new interface is built on top of the original database, so all of your data will be preserved.
Yes. 100%.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No data loss. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't do it if
Mm.
we had to lose data. No way.
And that is a huge part of the testing that we do. We are making sure data element by data element that nothing is getting lost.
Yes.
Dave asked, can you print a month of the calendar to a PDF in landscape? Can you print a month of the calendar to a PDF in landscape?
That the current print functionality will largely stay the same as it is today, where we kind of can export it to a PDF. And then if you want to manipulate that PDF to be portrait landscape, if you want to print, etc., that will largely remain the same.
Mhm.
Okay, we're rapid firing here. Kathy asked another good question. Will the app, the iOS, the Android app, be updated to coincide with the new rollout of the updated eSpace?
That is a great question. I did not cover that very much, but yes is the short answer. Yes,
Mhm.
it's part of what's taken us a while to really think through how to build this, how to design it. We want it to be mobile friendly as well. Just like eSpace today is very responsive if you resize it or if you open it up on the mobile app or you open it up in a mobile browser, it resizes down. Very important for us with the new user interface. So yes, all of these changes have to go to mobile and will. Good question.
I think I know the answer to this one, but for everyone's edification, I'm going to ask it. Emily asked, any possibility of integration with Salesforce?
I would have to learn more about the goals there. If Yeah, I don't know what the goals would be with Salesforce. We find that when people use eSpace as the main source of truth for events, that tends to work the best. If Yeah, I'd have to learn more about the goals with Salesforce. I have not heard that one regularly.
And currently, we don't integrate with Salesforce, right?
Correct.
Margie asked, will multi-sites be considered in the equipment lifecycle calculator, operational cost tracker, etc.? Currently, these are not conducive to multi-site organizations.
Yeah, so that's something I've heard and we'll definitely be looking at as we get over to those modules. Uh, Lifecycle calculator grouping items by location has been recently added to my radar as something to consider. So I am aware of that, and that's something I'm really considering. Thank you.
Sarah asked, any chance that those about to onboard will be using the new interface?
Yeah, good question. Like I mentioned here, everything is kicking off this fall. So if you onboard this fall after we've released, then yes, then you will onboard on the new UI. Kim, that's kind of your area. Anything you would add there?
Yeah, I think for those that are maybe going to onboard prior to the releases this fall, don't worry, you're going to get all the same information that all the clients are getting. You'll have the opportunity to join in all of those webinars and get all of that added training, in addition to the training that you got during your onboarding. So we want to make sure that the transition is as simple for everyone as possible.
Okay, thank you, Kim. This is a long one. Sean asked, in Event Scheduler, will we be able to enter custom times for work orders beyond before setup, being 30 minutes before the scheduled setup time? Sometimes we actually need to set up a room on Sunday afternoon for a Wednesday morning Bible study, etc.
So that would follow your setup. I think I follow this right. That would follow your setup and teardown time. So your setup time is what you would set, and then the work order would be attached to the setup time. So that's how that would be. And you can do setups the day before today. Am I following that right, Kim?
Yeah, I think so. I think it probably comes down to understanding how Sean and his team organize those spaces once they are set up. So if I set up a room on Sunday for a Wednesday morning Bible study, are you blocking that room for all those days in between? If so, then I encourage you to use the setup uh, area of your event, and that'll help do that. If you are just wanting the setup done earlier, but you're still going to let people use that room on an interim basis, I think we have to be a little more creative and think about that one. So it'll depend on your process and how you manage those spaces for those periods of time.
Yeah, thanks, Kim. That's well said.
Yep, well said. Christina asked, will there be an option to play in a demo for those of us who learn best hands-on?
Sorry, say that question one more time.
Yeah, sure. Will there be an option to play in a demo for those of us who learn best hands-on?
Sure. Right now, that's not our current plan. Our current plan is to do the webinars, like Kim mentioned, ahead of time, even before it gets released, give you recorded webinars that you can be reviewing ahead of the release. And then when we release, we'll have those product walkthroughs. I know you guys see those announcements in application, but we actually have the ability to walk you through the different steps using that tool that we have as well. So not currently in our plan.
A lot of folks asking this one. We kind of have it answered here on the slide. Um, planning enterprise rollout in the fall, currently developing training content. When exactly in the fall can we expect the changes you just demonstrated?
Yep, right now I'm only going to commit to fall. My optimistic product manager self hopes early fall, but that's the only more specific I'm going to get, so I don't get kicked under the table. Where with this being the first change, kind of estimating timing, it's tricky because this is newer ground to make sure that we're getting through this really really well, and I would rather get it done really really well than release it too early. And so that's the approach that we're taking with this, and we're going to take the time it needs to do it well. I think as we progress and we've got a few of the new user interface releases behind us, I think we'll have a little bit better idea of timing. But right now, I am just gonna say this fall.
Can you expand on user history? The user history feature?
Oh, for facility space? Yep, so we're working on that right now as we speak. But that feature is going to keep a history in facility space of when somebody makes a change to a set point, makes a change to a device, makes a change to your global settings for your facility space integration, when devices are added or removed or changed. So right now we've got the API log history in facility space that's keeping track of when, when we tried to unlock doors or when we tried to send a cool set point. But this is more of a internal log of kind of who did what and when. Very similar to the user history that we just enhanced on Event Scheduler and Work Order and Asset Management for events and work orders.
Good stuff. Thanks, Ben. A couple more minutes, guys. We're going to answer as many as we can, up to 3. Michelle asked, will we still be able to copy / duplicate events? Is that what the add schedule tab is for? Or is that for adding additional event dates to that event?
So yes, the ability to copy an event will still exist. Definitely not going to get rid of that. It's in one of the menus. I didn't show it when I was walking through my demo, but that's definitely there. Schedules have kind of their intended purpose to really group occurrences within an event. Kim, do you want to take just a minute or less to talk about schedules and how those are really beneficial?
Yeah, I love the use of schedules. A lot of times we have events that happen, they happen all the time. Maybe you have, a women's Bible study that happens every Tuesday morning, and it's been happening every Tuesday morning for the last 5 years. And it could be easy to do all that just as a big bunch of occurrences, not applying any schedules to them. We want schedules to be streamlined enough that it becomes simple for you to say, hey, here's my fall 2025 women's Bible study on Tuesday morning. And then you let that happen, you manage that. And when you're ready, you copy it to spring 2026, or maybe it's full year 2026 at that point. That way, it allows you to have smaller chunks that become quite manageable, but they're still within one single event. So you still have the history, kind of how they had their room set up 2 years ago, but you know how they set it up now because they've made a change, and you know what they want for the next time around. So that's really what we're hoping that you can get out of those schedules. Get all of those things organized in a way that makes it easy to reference and easy to move forward.
Well said. Thanks, Kim.
I think we'll make that our last question. I know you've got one more thing to talk about, Ben, but real quick, Kim, if there's other questions, which there probably are, what's the best way for these folks to get their answers?
Always the best way. Your support team is there. The customer stewardship team, that's what we call them, because we want to help steward you and your how you're managing your facility. So send it to support. You can do that in app. You can click on the support button in your app, the help button in the lower left corner. Or you can just email us. Email us at support@smartchurchsolutions.com, and it'll go straight to a ticket, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Understand that things are changing. Understand that can be stressful. We will do our best to give you the answers that we have, and there might be some times where we don't have the answer, and we're going to be honest and let you know that at this point.
Thanks, Kim. That's all well said. Again, thanks to all of you for allowing us to serve you with eSpace. It is our pleasure. I know, like Kim said, this is change. We are going to do our best to equip you guys to navigate this change well. This fall, we've mentioned we've got some exciting user interface releases. But additionally, if you have not checked out eSpace University, I'm going to invite you to do so. It's kind of a hard transition here, but over to eSpace University, we've got dedicated education and training on how to best steward your church. This is education dedicated to those that are facility managers, those in charge with stewarding a building. We have a free course available that's general introduction to facility stewardship. We have one paid course available now that is church facility stewardship principles and best practices. We also have 2 courses that are available for pre-sale. These are going to be available this fall as well. So we've got a lot going on this fall. But those 2 pre-sale courses, we've got one that's dedicated to preventative maintenance and another to cleaning. If you guys sign up in the next month, you can go ahead and use promo code eSPACEUI, and that'll get you 10% off those courses. Wondering how to get to eSPACE University? In the current module switcher, I know I showed you where the future was going, but in today's module switcher, if you go up into the My Modules button and click on eSPACE University, that will bring you right to eSPACE University. You can grab the course there, and you can subscribe and pay right there. Again, thank you all. I appreciate your time today. Really just grateful to serve each of you. We're excited. These are some big changes that are coming, and we're just really excited.